No, so you're right. VILPA is vigorous intermittent lifestyle physical activity, and very much led by my colleague, Professor Emmanuel Stamatakis out of the University of Sydney. So I've been fortunate to be part of really an international group that is looking at VILPA in various ways. But to be clear, we're talking not structured exercise. So you could think of VILPA in some ways as the non-exercise equivalent of an exercise snack. And so we're talking activities of daily living that you would be doing anyway. And so I'll give you a very specific example. So to get to the recording studio today, I left my hotel. I had to get here, right? Somehow I had to get here. I took a ride-sharing service for most of it, but leaving my hotel room, I had a choice of taking the stairs or taking the elevator. I could have taken the stairs there, or to get to my rideshare service, to walk a block, I could have walked at a leisurely pace, or I could have picked up the pace, right? And said, I'm going to engage in a vigorous manner here. Arrive at the location. Again, it's another minute to get from the rideshare service to the front door. I could do that in a vigorous pace or at a pedestrian pace. Or I could carry my backpack, right? And engage in that. And so the question there with VILPA is, in these activities of daily living that are already part of our lives, if you embed vigorous effort in those, another classic example would be you take a 5-hour flight, you get off the plane, you have the choice, the escalator's there or you have the stairs. Many people are taking the escalator, but you got some heavy backpacks. You could vigorously climb up the stairs for 30 seconds to a minute. That would be a dose of VILPA right there. And so again, you got to move from one level to the other. That's not planned and structured exercise. That's just activities of daily living. And the question that's being asked in that research is, if people choose to do that in a vigorous manner, is that meaningful? And there's some evidence for that, including a large study that was published in December that was it mined the UK Biobank data. And so what that allowed the investigators to do was look at over 25,000 individuals who engaged in VILPA-like efforts. They wore accelerometers to try and capture this. And they were followed over almost 7 years. And the outcomes included all-cause mortality, cardiovascular disease mortality, cancer mortality. And that work showed or revealed that people who engaged in even 3 to 4 minutes total a day of VILPA-like activity had substantial reductions in all-cause mortality risks. We're talking 25, 30%. So that would suggest that even brief, non-exercise, vigorous, intermittent physical activity can move the needle in terms of health outcomes. And of course, we would suspect that maybe it has to do with some of these cardiovascular or metabolic changes that we know are associated with health. So that's not cause and effect evidence. It's observational evidence over time, but it was very robustly done the way the work was conducted. It's quite compelling, I think.